Hi, Martin here. Today I'm going to install backup sensors in the rear bumper of our vehicle. I'm going to be putting this in the '04 Jeep Grand Cherokee. I've had the backup sensors for quite some time, meant to be put into another vehicle, and well, we're going to put it in this vehicle. I have very dark tinted windows, and especially at night it makes it very hard to see what's behind you, and so I could use any help I can get. You can purchase these backup sensors on eBay for as little as $10 and probably up a little bit. This one reads in meters, which is fine with me. This is the display right here. It has, left and right. It reads the distance right here, so you're going to know where the obstruction is, if it's toward the left or the right or center, with the 4 sensors. It comes with a hole saw, which is cool. And just to make sure everything fit okay, I had this piece of plastic laying around, and I didn't want to drill a hole in the bumper and then find out, things don't fit right. So, drilled a hole in the plastic, installed the sensor, and it fit actually quite well. It's got these 4 little locking tabs, and I was happy with that. So that looks good. And before installing the whole thing, I went ahead and plugged all 4 sensors in to there's a small little brain box you get here, and each one is labeled A, B, C, D, so that's your left to right ones, and just hooked it up to a power source and made sure everything works before installing this, and then find out it doesn't. Alright, well, let's get started. Okay, the first thing we got to do is determine where we're going to put the sensors, the spacing, how far down, and all that. There's probably no real right or wrong, other than you probably just want to get them equally spaced. I'm going to try to go out here as far as I can on each side, and then equally distance each one of those apart. Alright, now the installation I'm doing will be typical on any 99 through 04 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Now what I did, because I don't technically know what's behind here, so I went down to pick a part yesterday, and there was an '02 sitting there. I took the back bumper off, and just to make sure I'm not going to run into any kind of metal obstructions or anything like that, and it's nothing but styrofoam back here. You don't get metal until you're well into here, so you're not going to run into anything. So I'm going to go for right in this area, both sides. Now, toward the back here, it feels actually pretty solid all the way across here. There's like a small 3/8 of an inch gap before you hit in the styrofoam. What I came up with, I wanted to get each sensor equally spaced apart. By going from the trailer hitch to here, I came up with, and put that up in that corner like that, I came up with a measurement around 25¼ inches to the center here. This is approximate. Okay, and I did the same thing on the other side. Pulling that tape measure to right there. Again, 25¼ inches. And that gives us a span of right at 51 inches. Okay, and then you divide that by 3, because you got 3 sections in between this, and you come up with 17. So just come off of here, 17 inches, off the other side, 17 inches. Okay, and we'll have our marks. Now all we've got to do is get our up and down line, and that'll determine where we're going to drill. Alright, now I'll show you what I came up with. Because the bumper has a curve to it, this way, and curves this way as well, it's kind of hard to transfer these measurements, which are here on a nice straight line, and to get them out to here. You want everything to look, you know, natural, like it's meant to be. Now if you had, let's say, a piece of sheet metal with a nice straight edge on it, you could lay them across these two marks, and then as you're holding that up against there, that would transfer that line out to here. Now I didn't have that. What I did have is some joint tape. This is for drywall, but it's a nice wide piece of paper that's not going to bend if you lay it up against here. So I took a chunk of it, I laid it on both marks right here, and laying it flat on there like this, it's going to follow the curve of this and give you a nice straight line going across. Now what it's probably doing as well, since the bumper curve has a compound curve to it, it's also drawing that paper upward. But it does have this crease right in here. I can use this as a guide. And what seems maybe kind of hokey, I also took a measurement from the floor. I got a nice smooth concrete surface here. Came up with 24 7/8 on both of these. So there's no reason I can't come out here, measure 24 7/8, and if it's consistent with this line, in other words, the difference on both sides, that should give me a nice straight line going across. My mark on the other side should be the same from this crease of in the tape coming up. And I give you the exact same location on the opposite side. Well, that'll be about right. There. Now this is one of those things you're going to measure a bunch of times before we start drilling holes in here, because you're going to get one shot at this, and when you stand back, hopefully everything looks natural, like it's in a straight line of going across that bumper. Alright, here comes the scary part. Here we are. Well, it definitely made a nice clean hole. Now, taking the one that is labeled A, pass it through here. Then you're going to push these small little locking tabs in. They're very kind of like a soft silicone. They actually have a nice clean look. It matches my paint actually really well. And these are almost unnoticeable. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and drill the other three and get those installed. Actually, I'm just going to try just using a screwdriver. There. And we just need to remove just enough to get that sensor in there. I mean, that ought to do it. Now, on the two center ones, I'm going to pass the wire down through here like So you could use, let's say, some kind of a solid, like a little wire or something to pass the wire down there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to break out this little piece of styrofoam right here in the corner, because I found it makes it a whole lot easier to pass it. This one little corner was kind of hanging up with the connector of the sensor. There we go. Now what I got is just this fiberglass rod. These are made for chasing wires through walls. There. So I pass that through here, and it comes out right down here. Okay, make sure we got the right sensor. This would be letter B. Fasten it onto here. Alright. Now just pull on that. And there it goes. Alright. Alright, we got all 4 sensors installed. Now, gather up the wire for all 4 of those. Chase them in here behind this bumper. And I'm going to head for this corner over in here. I'm going to have to remove the interior panel, and we'll find a place to mount that small little brain box that these all plug into. Now I got the interior panel here, and I got behind it. Was able to. You kind of got to just find a place, and you kind of give it a quick jerk and get it to release. So now we can clearly get in behind here, I hope. Now, these are one of the what actually holds this panel on. Sometimes these pull off of right here. So you'll want to pull that back out, place it on here before we reinstall. See, like that one, that's how it's supposed to be. And that clip there just pulled off. So bring the wires across. Now, for the most part, you only have to do the 2, let's say from the passenger side, depending on what side of the vehicle you want to run down the wires down. I'm going to take it down the driver's side. So bringing the 2 across from the passenger side, just right here, back behind the trailer hitch. And I got now 3 of them right here. And then you got the 1 more from the driver's side. So what I've done here is I've removed the rear tail light on the driver's side. Simply by just got to pull the 2 screws out, grab a hold of this housing, and it comes right off. Really easy. Now, I've taken my little rod, shoved it down through here. It comes out here. I'm going to attach all 4 wires and bring them up into this area. Now, if you look right here, I found this hole. This was covered up from the factory with this like weatherproof type stuff, and I'm going to pass all 4 of them through that hole and then silicone that, and that'll get us inside back in here, and then we'll fish the wires that way. Okay, I'm going to pass the wires through this hole, and then from this interior panel that we got removed, and you can see my fish tape right here, this fish rod, and we're going to be coming through that hole right back here. You can see the light. We'll come into here, we'll attach them all onto the rod, and then pull them over to here. And this is probably where we're going to mount that little brain box over here. And then find the reverse wire to tie into. Last one. Okay, we need to find our reverse light wire, because that's what's going to activate this thing. Every time you put it in reverse, it's going to turn it on. So when I had the light assembly off, the tail light assembly off, I noticed that the wire going to the reverse lights was black and the other one was purple with black. So just to verify, right now I've got the ignition on and the vehicle's in reverse with the tail light, with the reverse lights lit. So come over here and you stab that, and there you go. And that is our wire that we're looking for. We're going to tie into that one right there. The other one could go to ground. Okay, we got all 4 wires pulled to this location here. Actually, some of them are going to be shorter and longer than others because of the distance they had to travel. But we got them to this point. Now we got our little box here. And you'll take the lettering. Oh my gosh, where'd the lettering go? Okay, we lost some of the letters. Okay, that one's B. So we know that one. That goes there. And there's A. Now, I'm going to figure that the shortest one is D. I had the furthest to go. They must have came off with all the taping and untaping. And the other one is C. Alright. I'm going to simply just lay that box in there. And now the only other one we got to attach to is the outgoing to our monitor, which is labeled monitor. Alright, I think I'm going to place this kind of in the middle, way up here. It's totally out of the way. I thought about putting it here, but putting it here, and I feel I can get away without drilling any holes. So to do that, I'm going to pry this piece out of here. This comes out quite easy. Now what we're going to do is find a pathway from up here down so we can get our wire there. Okay, again I use these push rods by looking down below and I was just looking for light and I found a little bit of light. Shoved it right up that way, and I popped out right in here. That'll work just fine. So attach the wire to this end, and then we'll pull it through. All right, with that attached, let's see if we can pull this through. think. Here, yep. Come on. Gotcha. Shit. Alright, now with that wire run through there, we can put this back in place. Now I've kind of chased this wire back there. And you just gotta pop this back into place. There we go. Now some double-sided tape underneath here and mount that. I've got the wire run up in the dash up here, or through the dash. Got it to right here. We need to pop this off of here so we can run that wire underneath there. These just pop up. No more screws like the old days. Okay. Okay, I spoke too soon. 3 screws right here. I just removed. Lift this up and toss that wire down. There's a nice channel right down in here. It already has a wire in it. And then just continue running that wire back here. It's such a small wire, you can actually just lift that panel just ever so slightly, and because you can lift this edge, as you can see right like I'm doing right here. Just slide that wire right underneath there. We got it to here. Alright, now we got the wire up to here. We got more than enough. All I gotta do is plug it into the monitor port. Just like that. And we're just going to zip tie this here just to help secure it so it's not out, it's not bouncing around. It does come with a double-sided sticky, and I mean, you could have stuck it to the outside panel, but I did not want to do that. The vehicle is black, and I don't want that box sitting against that surface that can get very hot. So this gives it a little bit of an air gap there. Just like that. Alright, now all we've got to do is install the panel right here. Alright, let's test this out. Backing up to the garage door. You see how the scale keeps going up, more intense. And that's it right there. Okay, I put it in park. Let's go back and have a look at how close we got. Like a 6-inch gap there. I'd say that's pretty acceptable. Gives you a nice safe margin. Okay, this time I backed up at an angle at the garage door, and you can see that the scale is red more on this side than it is on that side. So you know that the problem, your obstruction, is over on this side. Let's go see. There you go. We got that much distance there, but we got definitely a lot more out here. Seems to work pretty good. All right, I think that went pretty well. You know, for the price, $10 or so, and it gives you a little confidence in backing up, especially when you got tinted windows like I do. I mean, they're very dark. Well, thanks for watching, and please subscribe.